Hey everyone on YouTube. If you are watching this, you are probably already on Prozac, fluoxetine, I think it's called, or maybe you are thinking about trying it out. Okay, so a little bit about myself. I think I've had anxiety for probably about like 5 or 6 years now. In Canada, we call it lorazepam. It's like an anti-anxiety medication. It's sublingual, which means you put it under your tongue and it dissolves. So I tried to limit myself to getting only 15 a year and only taking them if I really, really needed them, because when I have anxiety, I'm usually able to like self-regulate my mood by sorry, my dog's trying to get in here. I try and self-regulate my mood by having a shower, putting cold water on my face, massage on my muscles. But I realize that that's obviously not always practical, like especially if you're at work or you're in class or whatever you're doing, like it's not always practical. So I've learned coping mechanisms. I read this book that I would really recommend to everyone. It's called Mind Over Mood. It shows like exercises and stuff that you can do to kind of like regulate your feelings when you're feeling super anxious. But there also came a point in time where I was having panic attacks and anxiety when nothing would even trigger me. Like, especially before bed, it's like I would feel absolutely exhausted, but my mind wouldn't shut down and it would turn into a full-blown panic attack where I actually felt like I was having heart attacks. I would go to the hospital. I would go for a walk around the block at like 4 in the morning. It was getting pretty bad. So, January 2017, I told myself, you know what? I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to lose weight. I lost 60 pounds. I was eating healthy. I was calorie counting, making healthier choices, working out for 2 hours a day. I felt great. I'm not even kidding you. My anxiety absolutely disappeared. It's like it had never existed. Like life was great. Like it was really great. Like all of us, we go through shit. Life happens, shit happens. I lost my dog, which I'm sure many people won't understand. So we won't even get into that. And I watched my grandma slowly pass away over, I would say, about a month and a half from dementia. Her mind basically told her to stop eating, and I would say she pretty much starved to death. And it was the absolute most heartbreaking, devastating thing to ever watch. And I have an addiction. I'm an emotional binge eater. So that's how I dealt with it. And I think that ultimately led to, well, obviously it led to putting the weight back on, and it led to me having high functioning anxiety and high functioning depression. So some people don't know what that means. Basically, it means like you're depressed, but you present well, and people would probably think you're okay. I would go to school. I would have friendships, relationships. I work a job, things like that. I would say maybe about 2 months ago, I really started to read up and educate myself about depression. And I realized that I had a problem when I was crying, sometimes for no reason at all. Sometimes I couldn't even stop. And like I was just really moody and irrational. Like my feelings were all over the place. Like, normal people live a normal life. Well, okay, let's not go that far. So people that aren't experiencing mental health, I would say, have a pretty decent, somewhat normal life. they know how to cope with stressors and feelings throughout the day, whereas myself, I would find, like, say my mom is talking to me on the phone, for example, and she like starts talking over me or cutting me off. Most people would probably just like be quiet, wait for that person to finish, and then pick up where they left off. Whereas like myself, I would go excuse me, I would go like 0 from 100. I would get like irate and be like, can I talk? Like just freak out. There's also things like situations that would happen, and I would just get so angry. And I noticed that I was literally spending my whole day. I always had something to say. I always had something to talk about with my friends, whether it's texting or phone calls, but everything I said was negative. It was a complaint about someone. It was a complaint about this. It was someone did this, someone did that. And I thought, I'm clearly not happy if I'm just constantly negative and roaming around these negative thoughts. So since nobody on here knows me, nobody knows that I work at a homeless shelter. So you're faced with people that have mental illness and addiction issues of their own. It can get pretty hectic. There was multiple incidences on Sunday that kind of like, I would say, set me overboard. And all I remember is Monday I was supposed to drive out of town to my mom's house because I was supposed to get something I left at her house. Oh, my air fryer. And I have to pass my GP, general practitioner. I don't know what they call that outside of Canada. It's your family doctor, basically. So I have to pass her office to get to my mom's house. And something just told me, I didn't have an appointment, but I just pulled into the office. I just pulled in. And I looked at the clock and I thought, shit, she's on lunch in 12 minutes. So I walk up to the desk and I'm like, hi, like, can I see the doctor? And she's like, well, of course, can you come back can you come back at 1 p.m. because she's on lunch from 12 to 1. I'm not even kidding you. My eyes, I just felt them filling up with water, and I just started crying, and I said, am I going to be able to see her at 1? I need to see her. And they said, yes, we'll get you in right at 1. You'll be the first person. I said, okay. As soon as I turned around to walk away, I heard the secretary say, you know what? Just stay. Please just stay. That was like one of the nicest things anyone has ever said and done for me lately, because I've noticed the more depressed I've become, the more distant your so-called friends and family become. It's almost like people don't want to be around you because they feel your negative vibe and your negative energy, and it brings them down, and I can respect that. But I also feel like, friends and family are also supposed to be there during your dark times when you need someone. So needless to say, I've learned who is and is not my friend, and who I can depend on through this whole ordeal. Anyways, secretary puts me in this room because there's a couple people in the waiting room. I'm crying. I can't stop at this point, and she wants me to have privacy. Then she comes in the room, she brings me a water, and she gives me a huge hug. The secretary is probably around my age. I just turned 32. Woo woo. So she knows I've been through, shit, verbal, emotional abuse from an ex and drama and just shit. I've been through some shit. I have some trauma in my life, extensive, from childhood to adulthood. We'll just leave it at that. And she just hugged me, and I just really needed that, because she didn't have to do that. She didn't have to even get me in. And I just felt in that moment that like someone actually sincerely cared about my mental well-being and was able to recognize that I needed help. So she said, thank you so much for staying. And, it's so great that I came in to ask for help. And I just told her, like, I've done this naturally for so long with like de-escalating my mood and being calm, but it's getting to the point lately where like I have no motivation. Okay? It's like my mind says, you should go back to the gym. You should take down your Christmas tree because it's almost February. You should do this. You should do that. You should take your dogs for a walk. And then when my body goes to do it, it's like something else flicks in my brain and says, fuck it, don't do it. Like I have zero motivation. And that's not good. So anyways, I see the doctor. The doctor wants to start me on 10 milligrams of Prozac for the first week and then go up to 20 milligrams after the first week. I think I have about a 2-month supply, and she wants me to check in after 2 weeks to let her know how I'm feeling. So I know there's that like myth or whatever that it takes 6 to 8 weeks for blood medicine to get into your blood and to fully take effect, and you should notice stuff after 2 weeks. So I don't know if I just like convinced myself that like after taking the first pill, which was yesterday morning, that everything was going to be great and everything was going to be wonderful. But I can tell you, I had a meeting with my manager that was kind of like borderline an investigation about a complaint that was made against me from a client. It all worked itself out, so I'm not in trouble, I'm not terminated. Whoops. Can you tell I'm not a professional YouTuber? I'm just holding a cell phone. But yeah, anyways, in moments like that, not only did I have to meet my senior manager, but then I had to meet with 2 clients all in the room, all together. And usually something like that, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I would be shaky, not like physically shaky, but inside I would feel shaky, uneasy, jittery. My fucking heart would be palpitating. I would be just like so anxious, I can't even describe. And even after taking the pill just once, no anxiety meds, just 1 Prozac in the morning, about 4 hours prior, I felt okay. And it's not like I didn't feel anything at all. I still knew that it was a serious conversation. I still knew that what I said hurt people. I still knew that I needed to be accountable, but I felt neutral. I didn't feel like crying. I didn't feel scared. I didn't feel nervous. I felt okay. So like I said, I don't know if taking 1 Prozac can do that, but I don't know. And then when I got home, it's like the day went by so fast. I wasn't really like negative. I had a little bit of an issue like, what happened? Oh, I have this dog playpen. I'm supposed to set up like a circle, but I just leave it folded and I use it to block off the living room because I have a carpet in there, and P-pad training my puppy who likes to piss on my rug. So, she's on lockdown, basically, to say more, from the living room. And that, like, toppled over while I was on the phone with my mom. And I had, like, a freak out, like, a meltdown. I was like, I need to fucking go! Like, I just lost it. So I wouldn't say that it's working 100%, or who even knows if it's supposed to work against, like, those outbursts. But for the most part, it helps me feel, like I said, pretty neutral throughout the day, pretty positive. I'm taking my dogs out for a walk today. I like woke up and I was like, wow, it's really sunny out. The weather feels nice. And like, I actually appreciated the weather, which is something I haven't done in a long time. And I laughed. I was talking with my best friend, and instead of texting her complaining 24/7, we had like a funny conversation, like over something so ridiculous. Like, this is kind of embarrassing, but my toilet got clogged. We all shit. So you people got to stop being embarrassed. But my toilet got clogged and I had to call my landlord. Like, I'm there, like, with the phone on FaceTime, and I have like this caddy set up behind the toilet, so it's resting there, and I'm plunging away, nothing's working. Like a good half hour in, I'm like breaking out a sweat, and I'm like, this is just not working. So I called the landlord. Let me tell you, this guy came in like full gear, like his little gas SARS mask or whatever, his bucket, all his equipment, whatever. He got it working, but like we had a good laugh over it. Like I was like laughing so hard I was going red and I was cackling. And I haven't laughed in a while. Like other than like the ah ha ha, like yeah, okay, whatever. It's not really funny kind of laugh. I haven't sincerely had a good laugh or felt good like that. So so far it's going good, I would say, in my opinion. I have read a lot about people saying that they have headaches. So like right around this area, like the front part, like from like here forward, I did have some tension, but I don't know if that's just because I didn't get a good sleep. I slept for maybe like, I would say 6 hours, and I woke up 2 or 3 times throughout the night because my dog was being naughty girl. But today, well, last night, so after the first pill, I woke up this morning and I feel, like I said, motivated. I feel happy. I don't have a headache. I did catch myself eating breakfast and going back to lay down in bed, which I've been kind of doing a lot lately, just laying in bed, hanging out in my room, watching Netflix. So I need to kind of get up and get out and, you know, do your hair, do your makeup, put on something bright, something cheery to, I don't know, I think help with this. So I'm about to take the second Prozac, and I'll make an update video tomorrow to see how the second day went. Feel free to send me any like questions or direct messages, or if you just want to chat, because I get it. People who haven't been through it, they don't understand, and we all need a little support sometimes. So thank you everyone for watching 17 minutes of me ramble about just pure fuckery and my mental health. And yeah,